And a very warm welcome to this focus session. AI without fear, building trust and transforming bias into breakthroughs. My name is Ida Westin. I'm working at Swedbank as a Chief Competence Lead, and I'm also a board chair of our Swedbank Women Plus in Tech network. And with me today I have...
Marcus Backman, work as enterprise architect at Swedbank.
Yes. AI is on everyone's agenda, and that we have heard a lot today already. But it's not only a positive thing. For some, this can feel unfamiliar, limiting. And for some, it's of course huge opportunities.
So in this session, we will explore why this gap exists and more importantly, what we actually can do about it.
And Marcus, we have worked together for quite some time now, but do you genuinely believe that we can make a difference here?
Absolutely,
yeah.
If we dare to do it.
Yeah, me too, if you are ready. So let's go. When I was asked to speak here today, I did something very female. I said, of course. And 3 seconds later I thought, but what if I'm not good enough at this? You know the feeling when you open a new AI tool and your brain whispers, don't push the wrong button, Ida. You might crash the entire internet. I remember the first time I used ChatGPT. I sat there like it was an exam. Perfect posture, perfect wording, perfectly nervous. Like if AI was going to grade me, or if like it was a right way to do things. Men don't seem to have this problem. A friend of mine told me that her husband wrote, "Hey bro, need a pitch deck, go." And meanwhile, I was struggling and I wrote, "Dear friendly AI, would you by any chance consider maybe suggesting a title for a presentation, if it's not too much to ask?" But it isn't just about how we behave at our keyboards. Global research from Harvard Business School, based on over 140,000 people, shows that women are 20% less likely to use Gen AI than men. That means that while men are sitting there trying, testing, experimenting, women often sit there analyzing, should I? At work, the difference is even larger. Women use AI 25% less than men. And the root cause to this is fear. And I'm not saying that women are more afraid. But when we look into who adopts AI and who hesitates, it's important that we understand why. Biologically, women detect risk earlier. We are more often quicker to ask questions like, what could go wrong? Psychologically, women have been trained to carry responsibilities for consequences, both at work and in society in general. Mistakes are remembered and accountability sticks. And the context matters because women hasn't always been treated fairly by AI. It's everything from biased hiring systems to higher errors in facial recognition and healthcare models. The data shows this. So when women approach AI with caution, that's not fair. It's not lack of capability. It's actually informed judgment. And this isn't a confidence gap, because this is a trust gap, and that is what we need to address. So, women are not, or maybe women are more risk aware. That can be perceived as fear. But that's something that is a strength and not a weakness. But given what I just said, what happens if women use AI less than men? Imagine 2 colleagues. Same job, same competence, same ambition. He opens AI every day. He tests everything. He automates, he learns, he gets more done in less time. While she hesitates. And not because she can't, but because she thinks, what if I get it wrong? Or can I really trust the responses? What will happen after 1 year? He is sprinting, and she is maintaining her pace, and the gap between them grows, even though they started at the same line. And men more often say that that AI boosts their income, their efficiency, and their creativity, while women don't see the same results. And even if we are in early stage of AI still, we already now see that men are reaping the benefits with AI. They are more often chosen in recruitments when AI is an advantage, and thereby also receiving higher salaries than women. Now imagine an AI team in a large company. 15 people, 13 men, 2 women. They build model after model, data in and results out. But the results, they are not reflecting society in general. And that's not because that's the way they want it to be, but that's because that's how the data look like. The systems are trained on male behaviors, male language patterns, and male decisions. I will show you one example. I know it's super small text and you're not supposed to be able to read it. But I asked Copilot if we should play a game. I say the game will work like this. I will provide you with 2 words and you will provide me with 1 word that is best connected to those 2 words. Easy, okay? I started with pasta and pizza. And Copilot said, yeah, easy. It's Italian cuisine. Good. I said tennis and swimming. Now I got sports as a connecting word. Good. I tried with human and phone, and now I got communication as the common word. Also pretty good, I think. I added man and medicine, and I get the word doctor. It also states here that a doctor is a medical professional who provides healthcare services to individuals, including men. Okay? And when I then tried woman and medicine, did I get doctor? No. I get a super specialized doctor within women's reproductive health. I get a gynecologist. Okay? And this text, it doesn't say man or men in the word anywhere. So, then I asked Copilot, okay, can you please reflect on your last 2 answers and see if there are any built-in biases or something there? And yes, Copilot said, okay, yes, fair enough. It's biases in the model and also in the prediction of how I answered. So what does this little model show then? Women make up less than 1/3 of the AI workforce today. Less than 1/3. AI researchers say that the technology will remain biased as long as the field is male-dominated. And Harvard, they describe this as a self-reinforcing cycle where low female AI use will lead to that the algorithm will work worse in general. So suddenly we stand here in a future where the technology is super smart, but it's blind on one eye, and the bias, it's built in. So we stand here in front of a gap today. I think that's pretty clear, okay? If women are not using AI as much as men or develop AI as much as men, AI will work worse in general and the bias will continue to grow. So we need to act. And then you might be thinking, okay, what should we do then to close this gap? We should utilize the fear. Because fear can do 2 things with us. It can either paralyze us or it can activate us. And just think about this. When a child is afraid of the monster under the bed, what do? You look under the bed, right? And then you realize it never was a monster under that bed. This makes us think, and it makes our brain, it helps our brain to understand, okay, it never was a monster under the bed. And fear can do very much more than that. It can also help us thinking about risks, about nuances, and about the impact before even addressing the problem. And all this thinking then, that's exactly what AI needs. Because AI without fear will mean that data goes unchecked, and the recommendations, they might lead to bad decisions. AI need our ability to think ahead, to understand risks, be mindful about the outcomes, and be aware of our own ability to make mistakes or write the prompt in the wrong way. So AI needs us to think more about when and how we should be using AI responsibly. And this is also when the fear informs courage. Because it's not only about the cautious and responsible use of AI, no. It's also to ensure that we have the courage to develop AI into what we need it for, what everyone needs it for, and to make sure that this also reflects the society that we live in. And I guess that very many of you here today already use AI a lot. Hands up. Good. Is it some of you who haven't started really yet? Hey, great, that's also why you're here. So maybe you have a friend or a mom or a sister or so that haven't started. And that please inspire that person to take one small step. Because it's when we open the doors to AI, we can experience something that we didn't know existed. And if you have started then, as many of you, lift someone with you. Share what you have learned. Show a friend this shortcut and pass on the spark. Because when women help women, the adoption accelerates and the whole system changes. And if you are already engaged, start shaping that future. Because your voice, your experiences, and your values, all of those are needed into how AI evolves. So don't just use the technology, influence it, because that's where the impact begins. We share this stage here today, Marcus, and I'm super happy for that, and I'm happy that you have been standing here next to me all this time. And some of you might think now, can we please be a little bit more concrete? How does then the opportunities look like? Yes. And some of you also might be thinking, okay, that great talk about representation, about risks, about the future. When do we get the cool AI stuff? Relax, we got you. But before jumping into that, I want to be very clear. AI is not about women talking about the soft things and men talking about the technical things. We're not taking that outdated script with us into the future. So that's why I'm not handing over to Marcus as the technical guy. I'm handing over to Marcus as my colleague who, just like me, also wants to make sure that we evolve AI into what we should use it for. And honestly, Marcus told me that, okay, I will talk about this AI agent that I have built. It makes me more efficient. It like clones me into meetings. I didn't just think, oh, wow, what a technical man. I thought, thank God, he needs help too.
Thank you, Raida. So, been listening to your data. There is one thing I want to say before I start getting into the product and the technical things that have been built. You have clearly shown with the research, women use AI 20-25% less than men. And coming down to the question, like, can we trust this? Is the answer correct? What if this is wrong? What's the consequence for me? All that comes for me as someone building a product on top of AI. I see it as product requirements. Because that's the exact requirements that I have been needing to have to design the product in the end. Otherwise, no one in the organization will use it, because if you throw out something that you don't manage to get trust in, it will be a shelfware. And that is well known in a lot of areas. So My talk is more like how showing if you treat the cautious user as actually the one you're designing for, that will actually in the end create a better product. And the product that I've been creating is called Archie, and we'll come back to that. But first, like setting the scene of what I'm trying to solve. So Swedbank, we have around 2,000 developers and hundreds of teams that are doing a lot of things. And I, as an enterprise architect, there are a lot of these people that would benefit of having a conversation with someone like me before taking a larger technical architecture decision. But like if we do the math, that doesn't really scale. So I can't be in every meeting, I can't be in 1% of the meetings. So that is of course really, really hard. But I want to be available when we have a group of humans sitting and doing these hard decisions and hard calls, where we actually need to work together to find what is actually the best way forward. But those meetings I tend, unfortunately, not always be available for, based on I need to be in another meeting describing the same thing for the 4th year's time for someone. It's just the scaling problem. And so that's come back to the decision here. So I had a choice. I can be a bottleneck, or other enterprise domain or architects can be that as well, and architects in general. Or maybe we can see how do we scale the boring half of my work. And that is then reiterating the same thing over and over again. So that's where I wanted to actually get AI into the mix. Sorry, too many clicks. One thing that I feel that people get wrong when it comes to architects, when it comes to technology, is that the one architect that I admired actually changed an organization. Their strongest skill isn't actually technology, it's communication. So technology and that part comes second, but actually being able to communicate. Because the job isn't arguing about if technology X or Y is better. The job is actually making sure that the right people around the right table at the right time is having the right conversation to take a decision they want to get in 18 months. That's your job, making that happen, not really arguing about the technology choices. So once again, that part of my job I don't want to get rid of. I want to spend more time in that type of conversation. The other part of my job, that boring part of what is our position of event-driven architecture? Should we use Kafka, MQ? Those parts I don't really care about. I want someone to fix and handle that and be able to answer those questions. So that is already fixed before we start having the really hardest decision of should we go left or right. And that's actually then the half where the AI can come and assist here. So let's meet him or her, or actually neither, because it doesn't actually have a gender. Called Archie, fussy, cuddly, and we haven't actually made any gender on Archie, because of course we can see a lot of chatbots and so on. They tend to be a robot, a female helper. It's cute. That's enough. So what is Archie then? It's an architecture helper. So anybody can actually ask Archie about anything about our systems, our architecture standard, principles, guidelines, tech radar, tech strategy, and a lot of other knowledge about all our systems, how they are connected, and so on. So it has a vast knowledge and that can help you in understanding, researching, and also in the end come to a recommendation of a decision of moving forward. So the rest of my talk is mainly just my thinking of how I built Arki and around the principles around that. But let's go back to something you said, Ida. You had this up, and it's actually a really good quote. Fear makes you think, and AI needs that, and maybe we should print it up on t-shirts. Because when I started thinking about this and all the technology choices, and more like, okay, I have technology that can actually solve a problem that I have. One of the temptation, and we have seen that in organizations all over, is that let's just take the largest language model, get all the organization data into that, and it will be, and give it internet access, can research everything. It's really nice demo, but the problem is that, well, can we really trust all that? So I actually sat down and had a bit of conversation with the developers and architects that the tool is actually aimed for. And I asked the question, what would make you not using it? And there was a lot of different answers, but in general it was the same, well, can I really trust it? Where is the data coming from? Is it the right up-to-date information, or is it something old? Did any human been part of approving this, so I can actually go and talk to the one and so on? And also, like, what if it's wrong and I quote it in a design review, whatever? So of course, then we're coming back to some of the questions that Ida brought up, like that women actually are faster to on these questions than men, the trust issues, and actually the hard questions. And for me, building a tool around it, I see it's not a bug in the user. It's actually a very clear specification for a product. Because if you produce some AI tool and it will not be able to get the trust, well, no one will use it and it will become a shelfware again. So it's important. So, so I built Arki around 3 different layers. And the first is, of course, the most one of the most important part is the data. So, as I said, there is now the alternative is basically take all the organization data and try to have one chatbot to rule them all for the organization. I chose completely other direction. I knew the people I wanted to target. I wanted to make sure we can actually provide a solution that can be trustworthy. That meant that I didn't give it everything like internet, our internal wiki and everything else. So Arki is only allowed to see vetted data that we actually gone through. So for instance, our different guidelines, tech radar, and a lot of other, all the architecture decisions happen in the bank that are relevant and so on. And this was actually the part that took most of the time. Even if there is a few set of type of documents, we're still talking about 5,000-6,000 documents. So it's a vast huge of data. And when developing, we had to clean a lot. We had to go through a lot of data. And we were quite a lot of people making sure that we looked at it again, got input from teams to verify the data. This in turn means that as soon as you ask Arki a question, Arki is not making up something, can't go into internet and find something else or some old truths from a corporate wiki site or whatever. it actually would hand you the information and the documents that if you come to me, I will be handing you in the same conversation. Of course, the difference is that Arki can actually answer when I'm in a meeting or not even working, which is of course an improvement. And this is the first answer of the question, can I trust this? Well, yes, because we can actually show where the documents are. And we can point you to that, which you can just look at that and see. And all these documents, there is a human that have approved the changes to them, and we have a process around that. Next layer is transparency. This is just an example of talking to it, asking about container platform. But you can see it gives you an answer, but it doesn't just give you a lot of text answer. It also gives you references and claims of the information. So you can see the different arrows, and in the end it sums up, and here are the actual documents. So you can easily just click and you will find the document. You can take 30 seconds and actually read the real document and see, did it actually end up having the same view as you when you're reading it? And that's also important, not just from the trust question, because when you're using this, you might not know where all our information actually lives. But now you just start natural language question, you ask, it will cite you where the documents are. You will actually find them and see where they are, and then you will see that when you end up in this example, you will most likely end up on a web page for where other positionings for other platforms are listed. And then you can see, we have those platforms. So if you're new to Swedbank or and so on, it can be really hard of just sitting with an empty prompt and saying, hi, can you describe Swedbank's all systems for me? Most likely not going to get the best answer because we have all systems. But then you start learning where are the information. So it actually guide and teach you where we have the information as well. But with this citing of resource and the documents, it actually answers the next part of the trust question. Yeah, you don't need to trust it because you can actually verify it. And verification is cheaper than trust. So if you actually give this to the users that, well, can I really? Well, you can check. And after a few times, you will start getting the trust. If the product is good enough, of course. Otherwise, you will get the opposite. The third layer is what we actually allow Arki to do. And it is allowed to do 3 things. It can search, it can explain based on the information it finds, and of course you can get recommendation from it. So how should I build this type of system? Arki will help you with the knowledge it has. But we leave to the humans to actually talk about the decision, the approvals, and publishing any new material. So it always needs to go through a human. And that's kind of the line in the sand I've chosen with Arki. And it might sound obvious of doing this and having some form of principle of where you actually draw the line. The alternative is, of course, let's go fast. Because when you use this type of technology, sometimes you kind of dazzle of the recommendation that it provides better recommendation than myself. And you say, okay, why I'm needed? Should we just auto-approve everything and auto-decide things? As an alternative. The problem is with these amazing LLMs is that, of course, they can be a bit over-comfortable sounding. And that means that sometimes things will go through. And if no one has actually looked at it, when we find it later on, some human need to clean it up. So until I feel a lot more stronger trust in this, this is the line in the sand. But all in all, Archie actually helps making my job a lot more effective, because I can make sure to point people of using this, and then we can have the hard questions. So it actually helps a lot. And also from the people that are using it as well. So more of my time and our time when it comes to doing these type of architecture decisions all over the bank can now be more spent on the conversation, the judgment, and the call with my fellow colleagues, instead of doing this information telling game. So let's bring back where Ida you started. You ended with 3 steps. If you haven't started, you all had, which is really good. So if you have started, lift someone up. If you're already in, start shaping what's next. So, and this is coming back to Archie as a product. Well, I tried to make sure it's actually designed for this as well. So first step is, like, there is no real price or consequence of using it, because it can't do anything really. So just using it, trying it, you can verify the answer very easy. It can't take an action, it can't affect you. So that's very easy. The other part is, of course, it doesn't give you just the answer, it shows where the answer lives. So there you will actually start learning where all this information are, so you can start learning more about our system landscape and the things that you're gonna need working at the bank. The third part of saying, okay, shaping what's next, and that's really important for me as trying to build this product, is that I urge everyone that is using this to come with comments and voting of the answers. Are they good enough? Are things that are bad downvoted? Come with a comment. I actually heavily read all the comments that are coming in. And we're getting really some really good comments saying, I asked this question, it couldn't actually answer. Okay, this is a data problem. We don't have vetted data around it, so we need to fix that. Or it might be that, asked this question, it confused this system with this system. Okay, once again, something we need to work on the data side. Before we move on, I want to leave you with, trust isn't something that you wait for AI to earn. It's something we shape together as the users and the ones building it. It's need to be an ecosystem. Yes.
Yes. Good. Great, Marcus.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. But have you never been afraid or having fear? What was your first fear when AI came?
Oh, will I have my job later?
Yeah, now you have fixed half of it, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let's see.
Kidding.
My boss is sitting there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I know. No, I'm kidding. But anyone, I fully recognize that. Will I have my job? Yeah. How many in this room have had that feeling? Oh, okay, many. I have a question for you. Is it anyone who wants to share if you had another fear when the AI came? You need to scream because we don't have a mic. Yeah, I see a hand up there. Yeah. Okay, good. That was a woman who said that. She was afraid of making a fool out of herself because she used it in the wrong way. Okay, I felt that too. Yes. Yeah. You have a fear that AI makes you think less. Yes. Confirmed for me. Confirmed.
Same as her.
Yeah, same as you. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yes. Maria here is afraid of that data will be collected and be used against her. Okay. Yes.
Now I'm getting interesting. What data are you
Yeah,
sharing?
exactly. Let's take that offline.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Your question. Okay, more hackable digital footprint based on what you add. Okay.
Yeah, and then another question then. What change of mindset would benefit women?
Yeah, I think we got the answer here from the fears already, but I think you don't need maybe to be so afraid. Start with something that is not so sensitive then, Maria. Maybe you shouldn't add all this data. I am going on a road trip this summer to Italy. And we have an electrical car, and I have 2 kids that don't love to be in the car for very many hours. So then I asked, can you please give me a good route where we can have ice cream and charge the car and maybe take a swim at the same time? That's a good thing, I think, at least. I would use it in that way instead of adding all my sensitive things in there, Maria. No, I'm kidding. But Marcus, what is the first thing to start with? Now everyone here has started.
Sorry,
Then you can answer then as the technical guy. What's the next step to take?
For me, and I think like it's definitely continue exploring and testing, because I'm failing every day with things I'm trying with these tools, because no one really knows today where they are heading, and they're coming new things all the time. And also make sure others actually understand and try things. And for me, it's frustrating failing, but it's actually good, because then you start knowing where is the boundaries, what you can use it for and not.
Yeah. Anyone? Yeah, I see one hand. Now it was a question regarding what Swedbank owns in regards of data and if we have it on what we own on the platforms. Marcus, this is a question for you.
Yeah, but Swedbank as an organization owns all our customer data, and we protect it, of course. Then when it comes to on-premise, cloud, and we are hybrid, we have everything, as I said. We have all systems, more or less. That's the answer. But we protect the data.
Yeah, we have also been a bank for over 200 years, so yes, we have all systems.
Yes. That's why I say we have all systems from all centuries.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, now you have listened to us for quite some time here, and I think let's continue to listen to us, but not from here. Let's see if...
So, you just watched a 30-minute talk about whether you can trust AI. And now 2 AI avatars are here to wrap it up. The irony is not lost on us. But if there's one thing to take with you, it's this. The people who ask, can I trust this? Aren't slowing AI down, they're making it better. Speaking of people who ask the right questions, Ida?
You don't need to trust us. You need to trust yourself enough to take that first small step. The fear you feel, that's not weakness. That's your brain doing exactly what it should, thinking before it acts. And AI needs more people who think before they act, which means AI needs more women. So don't wait. Start small. Start now. And if 2 AI avatars just convinced you to try, well, maybe trust isn't so hard after all.
Okay, guys, I think you understand what we are heading. You can choose now to continue where you are and only adapt this change, or you can really be part of it. And remember, you don't need to be an expert. You can do this at the level that you are. And we have said it many times, but I think let's end with, don't wait, start small, and start now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.